Welcome to Elusive Truth. I was just checking in with Gary about our last podcast, and apparently he has a lot more to say. We go right into the conversation, directly down the rabbit hole. So here we go again today. It amazes me, like I could not believe that when I came across this information about how the governor of Wisconsin sold out, and you are now going to take on a majority of these refugees from...
Oh, those are built-in Taliban.
They have to be. That's what they do. They spread terror. They've been doing this for eons.
And are they giving them all driver's licenses and IDs and voter registration cards?
Well, they're going to have to move.
Or are they invisible citizens that they can just slip into society and nobody knows who Abdul is?
No. They have to go to California for all that, because California is wide open arms because of all the people that have been awakened to all this nonsense that are leaving the state. California is now welcoming everybody else that needs to come. So we got a crazy clown world.
They go sleep with Gavin Newsom.
Well, and hopefully I heard that he's supposed to be being recalled. You know, what the proceedings are happening with that.
I think that's taking place. It's working on.
Right, it's working on, but so there's one governor that something's happening with. At least, and what's quiet now? What happened to Cuomo, our buddy Cuomo?
Well, Cuomo gave him a 14-day notice. Did you know that?
Yeah, he did. Cuomo, that guy.
I wonder what day we're on. Are we on like day 8?
And people thought he was the greatest governor of all time. Really?
Oh my God.
Amazing, absolutely amazing what goes on in this world.
How can people be that stupid? They bought him hook, line, and sinker.
They did, and they're still doing it. And now that it's happening, look at de Blasio. What's he doing? That guy's crazy.
And look at
with all the stuff that's happening in New York City. Oh my God, the COVID.
And who was that billionaire that tried to run for president? The New York billionaire. And they took all his money, threw it in the Democrat Party. He spent several billion on this last election.
Yes.
What was his name?
Oh, shoot.
You know what I'm talking about. Bloomberg.
Yeah, Bloomberg. Yeah, because he was total against Trump. He said that's the only reason why he's ran.
They throw him into the mix. Yeah,
he's the only. That's what he said. I am running because
they threw him into the mix because he could dump billions into hands they could spread out elsewhere and call it part of the campaign. Like we're gonna sell you a television ad, Bloomberg. Okay, it's gonna cost $200 million. Okay, and it only cost $20 million. And they kept the other $198 million funding their other organizations.
Right, but that's
how they spread that.
The main reason they used Bloomberg is because he was totally against Donald Trump. Everything he stood for was opposite of Donald Trump. Look at his campaign record and look at his speeches.
Let's get a billionaire versus a billionaire. This will be fun.
Well, luckily he saw that he was losing too much money and he pulled out.
And they gave us $5.
Well, he started to understand I can't do this, and there's more people waking up, and he's next on the list because that's what these rich people do. They are funding all this craziness going on.
And then they found out that they just pissed $1 billion away.
More than that. Look at all the money.
I think he spent several billion, yeah.
We're talking for campaign stuff, and we're not even talking about, look at all the money that we spent in Afghanistan and all the stuff we left behind there and all the money we spent on the stupid COVID crap and the shutting down and the money that losing and then the stimuluses and all this.
If we took that money and we just went around to every little third world country from, Indonesia to, all these little countries, we could have propped them up and become, developed countries with all those billions.
Yeah, but I'm no economic major, but I can tell you right now, it doesn't work this way. We can't keep doing this. The money's not coming in. The money's going out. I guess it's another part of the grand scheme of things. They have to have the collapse of the U.S. dollar. They have to have the collapse of the U.S. for the rest of this cabal and the bad evil demons coming out to take over the world.
You're right there, except one thing that I might have to disagree somewhat on is we have to collapse our U.S. dollar, but not make it turn into toilet paper. We have to reduce it, let other countries get their currency comparable to a 1-to-1 with the U.S. dollar. I go to these third world countries, like in Costa Rica, and $20 buys me, $200 worth of their currency. I'm like, what? And they go, yeah. It's 20 to 1 or something. These people work 8 hours, 10 hours a day for $10 equivalent to U.S. dollar.
Well, it's the same thing.
So we can't have countries doing that.
It's like with China. That's why all the stuff is made there. They have cheap labor. Cheap labor.
They work all day for equivalent of a U.S. dollar of $8 for a 10-hour day. And they went home with $8.
Yep, absolutely. And
so you're right, though. I mean, you're right on how we got to collapse all this shit. We got to bring other countries to some sort of declaration of value based on what their countries may have for assets. If they have huge infrastructure, huge resources, a lot of stuff, bring them up to a little bit close to par with the U.S. dollar. So they can have some value to their day's work.
Yeah, but that's just part of the problem. You got to remember that there's craziness going on that we don't even have an idea about, such as Russia partnering up with Iran, which they've always...
That's what the news wants to say. Of course, they only partner with Iran because they want to sell them goods. They're not really into Muslims. I don't think Putin likes the Iranians.
No, he doesn't.
Think he does it for a business purpose and a little bit of a front to prop Iran up for some reason or another. Okay. I think Putin's more of a friend of Trump than Iran.
Right, but they have to make money, and they sell them oil, they get oil, they do arms trades.
Yeah, and they do under-the-table shit that no one else will do.
But that's what I'm talking about. Things that we're not supposed to know, spread as hearsay, or try to conspiracy theorists that just spewing madness. That's their take on it. No one's going to listen, and no one's going to believe. And a lot of people, just like you were explaining earlier, they don't want to hear 30 seconds of reality, 30 seconds of...
No, they won't even listen to that much.
No, they don't. They're set on their ways, and it goes back to, how are you going to make a Palestinian love a Jewish Israeli person? I mean, that does never happen.
That has been going on for 1,000 years.
Just like within Afghanistan with the Taliban and the civil wars and Pakistan and all these other, we have no control over, and we don't want control over that. But I guess we started this all about the use of the Terrorism Act. We're trying to defend and protect our borders, which wasn't that what we got us started in this stuff 20 years ago? And look at our borders now.
That was George W. Bush.
The Bushes, it goes all, I mean,
literally. They were all deep state.
Yeah, we were misled. It's misdirection. Yep. Look over here while this is going on, and by the time everybody gets wind of it, it's too late, and they don't care. No one wants to hear. It's amazing.
That was the Patriot Act or something that George W. put in, took over rights away.
Yeah, and all the eavesdropping and all this, the surveillance and all of the tracking devices and all the break into the phones.
TSA.
Yeah, FBI. And the worst thing I saw, in watching a lot of these videos, one of the things that came out was FBI would rather dick around spending time looking for Capitol rioters than taking care of the children that are being trafficked, abused. The same thing. We still have all this crazy fentanyl and all this crazy drugs entering our country. And what's the DEA doing?
Not a damn thing.
We are fed up with all this stuff. We're fed up with the crime that's going on. And at least what's been
the FBI brings the shit into the country. They have their own private jets fly the fucking heroin in.
Damn. And the worst thing I hate to believe is when I was growing up in high school, I was like, I'm going to do good. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to be an FBI agent.
I know.
That's the ultimate law enforcement officer. I wanted to go in the CIA. And it was just, wow, this is what I'm going to do. And for whatever reason, my path of life took different turns. Thank goodness is what it always boils down to, is because that is one of the most corrupt agencies I've ever encountered. They're not doing anything. The Department of Justice, another group that, I put a lot of faith and stock into. ATF, DEA, border agents. I mean, I respect all these people, but
they just create all these agencies to funnel money into their hands.
Because that's what I looked at. The right or wrong. This is why we have laws, and we're supposed to be free. We treat people right, and we expect, our stuff we have certain rights. You can't take our stuff. You can't break us down. We can say what we want. And we can't be...
they want to take your First Amendment right away. They want to take your rights away.
They want our Second Amendment away. They want the guns to go away.
They're going right down the line of all the amendments.
Yes, and then we have, artists like Tom McDonald, that independent rap artist, that amazing that he's able to have a voice now and people can hear what he has to say. And the worst thing about it, that everything he says is absolutely correct and honest. No lies.
Yes, it was so beautiful that Tammy, my old girlfriend, sent that to my sister Laura. And Laura politely said, Tammy, please don't send me that stuff anymore. That stuff. It's like they don't even know how to describe it.
They don't want to learn. For whatever reason, they believe that what's going on around them will not affect them, and they just keep...
Oh, but we're supposed to listen to the media stuff. That's real.
I wish I could believe in our government. Oh, they're here to help us, and they know what's better. They know what's better for me.
No.
They know what's good for my family. I don't know anything. I am just a sheep. I will listen to you. I will take these injections. I'll wear masks. I won't work anymore. I'll just sit in my house, and I won't talk to anybody. The rest of the world go down in a handbag.
As long as the government sends me a check each month.
Yeah, as long as I have a little money and I can, buy my alcohol and my weed and let my alternate universe go away and let me go and watch movies and let me be in fantasy land. And, that's the way to live. Meanwhile, in Australia, they're having camps for people who are not abiding by their laws of mask mandates and taking injections. And, I mean, it's just... like, wow. And I thought Australia was a bunch of real dudes that are...
They're badasses. They are. They're good guys. And they're going to be the first place to take the lead on this arrests. They're going to be fed up.
I told you, they have military police. They have the military now patrolling and handing out fines and putting people in camps to take care of...
That's not cool. They gotta come around, man.
And I hope it's just more exaggeration than anything. But then I see what happens in France. The news will really show them the masses of togetherness, shouting liberté and being mostly peaceful like they want to show. And then they show all the violence that goes on, the burnings and the throwing of the rocks and the tear gas and the spraying of the water cannons, and they focus less on that. They miss the whole point of what's really going on. It's a group of people...
Why are they so upset?
...that realize that this is a bunch of BS and we're taking our liberties back, and you can't tell us that we can do this or that with papers and taking bad vaccinations that haven't even been tested, and you have the CDC again. I don't know what's the matter with it. They're for the vaccine and then they're against the vaccine. They flip-flop back and forth. The latest, the CDC says, yes, it will cause heart inflammation on a lot of people, and we're trying to figure that out. But we have a third jab getting ready for you guys because this shit's not working. And
even if you got the first two, it only lasts 6 to 8 months. It's going to wear off. You need another one.
Right. And they're not saying the people that have got it normally, like I had COVID normally through a jerk that came from Albuquerque. That's how I contracted it.
And your body fought it off.
It did. It took a while. It fought it off because I'm relatively healthy. And now, everybody's saying, you're going to ruin the Delta vaccine. It's going to get you. You're bad. And then they're finding out that since I didn't take the vaccination, I'm actually have more antibodies and a better immune system than the people that have got the vaccinations. But they're keeping that low. They're keeping that low down. And they're saying that, you got to get the vaccination anyway. And it's all the other crap that they put into it. Why are they putting metals into this stuff? Why are they doing this?
That's a big question. Why are they trying to keep us from everything?
They're to the point they're trying to pay us to get this damn vaccination. We'll pay you in donuts. We'll pay you in money. We will make your life easier by taking this vaccination. And again, using common sense.
New York even gave one person $1 million drawing for a lotto ticket or something.
If you have the vaccination, what are you worried about then? Why are you worried about me who hasn't had the vaccination? I apparently can't get it to you, right? Because you've been vaccinated. So what's the deal? I say 50% of America has been vaccinated and the other half hasn't, right?
Oh.
So what's going to happen now? And Sturgis again. You saw all those people there.
The number is up. Almost 100 million have been vaccinated.
Yeah, well, there's 300 million Americans, right?
Well, yeah, there's a group under 10 years old that is in that count. It's a required vaccine.
Well, that's the problem. They're going right now. The CDC hasn't approved the vaccinations for juveniles yet. And until they do, and they're getting ready to because schools are opening up and the rates are climbing.
Oh, they want to get there.
Oh, my goodness, dude. Yep. It's weird and a crazy.
See, because I don't know if they count minors into the U.S. population.
Oh, they don't. Just the numbers and all this information is geared towards their narrative, what they want it to be. The truth
That's what
will
their
come
numbers
out
do
eventually, but it takes so much time because it's been put out up so many times, the actual death rates of COVID, but people ignore it. They ignore what's going on. They ignore the fact that the economy is getting drained and ruined, and all this money being spent is going to collapse our economy, and it's going to make, oh my goodness, it's going to make for a wonderful New Year's coming up. I mean, and you say
it's weird. They'd rather be ignorant people and not learn something for themselves and just listen to some talking ass.
Yeah, but they're like, the guy said, he just said New Year's, but yes, it's August. What, in 4 months? 4 months, here we go. We're into another year and another year of this craziness. Best of all, we get into our next election cycle, so even the more crazy, zany annex are going to take place.
Oh, I think something really serious is going to happen before that.
It has to, because it's going to.
It has to. We're going to welcome real chaos. We're going to welcome an event. They're going to start a hurricane season now. This is hurricane season. They're going to have a major hurricane. An event is going to happen somewhere in the U.S. The Taliban already promised an event on 9/11.
Well, they're just thanking us for all the military equipment we just donated to them.
Didn't you hear the Taliban say that?
Yeah, death to America. We love you, and we're coming for you.
Yeah. I mean, they said, well, you watched 9/11 this year. They might have, 5 major cities go off with small, minor nuke suitcases. There's nukes planted in America.
Oh, there's all sorts of stuff, but what's going to do is now all this racism and all this indoctrination and this wokeness and whiteness and stuff going on, it's going to make some of us, anytime we see somebody walking down the street with a rag on their head, they're going to get taken out. Taliban's everywhere. It's going to make such chaos. And I hate to say it, because as a whole, and if we all band together, we can be one of the greatest, and we are the greatest nation on earth.
Well, we are. Where do you think all the inventions came from? Inventions don't come from people that aren't free. Free people think. Free people come up with shit.
Yeah, but they've been putting fluoride in the water for centuries now, and people's minds and their third eye, the pineal gland, and all this stuff.
But not everybody had city water. There's people that have had well water. There's a lot of a population that hasn't been poisoned.
You walk into the grocery stores and you see the sheep. You see the people. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. There's a guy named Fluffy, right? On YouTube, and he shows
Fluffy.
Yeah, good old Fluffy, and he shows the wonderful people of Walmart. Have you ever seen any of them? That's society. That shows what America is. The people that shop at Walmart. And I know it's a funny joke, but the thing is you can really walk into any Walmart and you can see depictions of this craziness right before your very own eyes. I mean, serious.
I really only make a small, short Walmart list of things if I ever have to go in there. Because anything that I've ever bought from there, like real parts or spark plugs or higher dollar items. I think they send the cheap by the manufacturer. It might have, let's just say, a Delco spark plug that almost didn't pass inspection, but just barely passed it. They send those to Walmart. They're not going to send those to the AutoZones. But there's still a functioning spark plug. It's weird. But it seems like almost anything I've ever gotten from Walmart has fallen apart.
It's a lot of the Chinese stuff. And there's good Chinese, there's bad Chinese, but there's a lot of stuff that's really cheap, and that's what we want. The only reason why I ever go to Walmart is because I know I will spend less for the product at Walmart.
I know. And I pick my sales discreetly where I spend my money at Walmart.
I'd go to Safeway, I shop there. I go to Fred Meyer's, I shop there too. With those two stores, I have to buy stuff that's on sale.
Oh,
because
yeah,
if
you
it's
have
not
to buy
on
your
sale,
paper towels, all your soaps.
It's too expensive. But you go to Walmart and you have...
Yeah, it's half the price, yeah.
Well, a big box of cereal is $3.49 usually at Walmart. And it just went up to $3.69 now. It's crazy, but...
Oh.
The point is, and we're not talking about, our shopping habits, it's normal life. And people don't seem to understand is that if we don't start taking active awareness of what's going on around us and start showing the people that we elect and start taking care of what we need to, because no one's going to take care of ourselves except us. No one's going to be able to do that.
Well, they've always said there's going to be a major storm, and they were calling the storm that's coming is we the people. We, the people, have to storm the government.
We storm the government. I mean, according to the stupid idiots, that January 6th was an insurrection. And proof in the pudding was what it was on August 16th, the Taliban stormed the presidential palace, and they have AK-47s and and all over the place, and that's an insurrection. That's a storm.
That's an insurrection.
They're taking flags down, they're putting new flags up, and they're taking over the government. That's what they're planning to do. That was nothing on January 6th like that. And it's just diversion. Just diversion.
And you know what else? Think about it. When they always tried to have big racist marches, let's call it a Million Man March, and they had 50,000 people show up, and they just named it the Million Man March. There were literally, I think, close to 1 million people on January 6th there. I don't know what the numbers were, but it was a lot of people just showed up for a Trump rally.
Feeling patriotic, and we were feeling that, wow, things are going to go the right way. We have the greatest president of all time who's going to go in the next term. And from that point, seriously, from January 6th, it seems like it went downhill.
Yeah.
Biden was in office or out of office because we don't know what office he's using. The White House doesn't look the same, from cars parked outside the Oval Office to Joe and two Joes and
doing
his
films. He's got
and the rest.
His clone. He's got a fake office in his home.
Oh, dude, you can't make this stuff up. Seriously.
And then he goes on vacation this week in the middle of the Afghan crisis.
He's only worried about ice cream and sniffing hair. That's it.
Yeah, sniffing little girls' hair.
His handlers are taking care of everything, and they're trying to keep him only in so much because they got to put Kamala up, and that crazy woman, they want to make her president now. And where
has she been during this Afghan crisis? She hasn't come out of nowhere.
She's just been cackling and laughing and trying to keep people from coming to the border. So now oh my God, we're in so much trouble.
You know what you said? You're right. You're right that Biden isn't doing anything, but that's precisely why they fixed it to put him in there, because they wanted the guys behind the scene to be pulling all the strings.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible, terrible, terrible. And
it is. This is not America. Remember that song by David Bowie? This is not America. You know the song? It was in that movie, The Falcon and the Snowman.
Mm-hmm.
You remember with Sean Penn and...
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I know what you're talking about. It
was a great movie.
And that's what makes it so crazy in this world, is that we can look back at other movies and stuff in our past pointing that this is going to happen. This is going to take place. And no one listened, I guess. Right?
Nobody. No, people still don't think The Matrix was 50% of the movie, The Matrix, was real.
Well, it's probably more than that. Like I said, it's...
Yep.
And everything that is happening right now, everything that's happening right now is so insignificant compared to the fragility of life, just the greater force, the greater universe. I'm sitting here, and the only way that there's a galactic federation captain that I can't wait to show up, Thor.
Yes, we want Thorhan. Yes,
right.
He has been here, and he is closing up the bad guys' portals.
Your buddy said
James Gillian, yeah,
yes. And our lady friend there that knows all the reptilian species and all
Ilana.
this. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, but it's just like, wow. This is what we have to look forward to. This is what you and I are really supposed to be talking about, is all this galactic beings and Bigfoots and all this crazy stuff.
Well, hey, our President Eisenhower back in the 50s.
Yeah, Ike.
Remember Ike?
Yeah, I read about him.
You can Google alien Valiant Thor. His name was Val Thor, like Val Kilmer.
Right.
But Val Thor in Eisenhower administration, it was all known that he was an off-planet ET, and he had told Eisenhower everything about the military-industrial complex and where Earth was heading. And who came in right after Eisenhower? Kennedy. And who stirred all the shit and got killed? Kennedy. It all fell right in place.
Unbeknownst to the rest of the world, it's just a normal, everyday occurrence, a change of power, but, nothing behind it, no greater cause, no grand master plan. But here we are, August 18th, 2021. And imagine if the truth came out and we knew everything. Wow. Just imagine that.
It is coming, and we're all going to need to just take a week vacation and meditate and get over it.
Right. But
it might take us a month.
This is what is amazing, is that there's no topic, there's no more information. I mean, we can talk about everything and anything under the sun, because just the way the world is right now, it's an open slate.
I got one for you. Got your pen handy?
Yeah.
Okay. Write down the knowledge of forever time.
Okay. The knowledge forever time.
Knowledge of forever time series. It's an 8 or 9 part series. Okay.
By Gala?
By who?
Gala, you know that thing? Gala or Gaia?
No, Gaia. It's not a Gaia thing. This was done in 2015 or 16.
Okay.
And I just got turned on to it, and I watched the first part 1 of the series, okay?
Okay.
And it's about a 45, 50-minute clip. You can do it free on your computer or your phone, and you're going to go, oh, my God. It starts out with saying about the Great Pyramids and everything that the aliens had done. And they were lined up with the 3 stars of Orion perfectly. And it shows all the geometrics of the bottom of the Giza. Was 365 measurements of whatever the measurements were at the time, Egyptian measurements. And it was the cycle of the sun. And it goes on. And it's going to blow you away. And I've only watched 3 of the series because I just got turned on to it.
Right. And
you won't even think of things the same. You're going to know that there's been thousands of years of ETs, and they've always, like they even said, do you think man really came from a Neanderthal? Get over it. We didn't come about in an evolutionary form. We've had our DNA on Earth for thousands of years.
See, that's what
I don't know
like.
if you think we came out of a caveman.
But see, that's what I like, is that there's so much more to talk about than this silly little
And
COVID.
we were lied to in everything we've been told and taught.
And this is what I originally wanted this the Elusive Truth to be about more like the X-Files, more about saucers and Area 51 and all the the crazies that stuff that happens at Superstition Mountains and all these other Shiprock and all these other places that humans get disappeared by the wilderness through portals or whatever.
Right.
There's so much to discuss and talk, and that's where our foundation and
we got thrown into the whole political scene by it's just thrust in front of us.
Right. And what's going on with COVID and the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And with that,
turn the TV on without those two things going on. Any radio station, any news, anything ever, they're just shoving it down our throat.
Yep. I just want to give a shout out to all the citizens of the world, France, Germany, Italy, Greece, anywhere that they're having these major issues, Dan, that I hope for peace. And I hope that somehow the silver lining comes out from all of this and we can look back on this as a terrible injustice that the world has to suffer, and good prevails, the trust in God, the trust in your fellow human being as a galactic member of this federation, that we take care of each other and we move on from this. Apparently, we have a long way to go.
Yes, you hang up and look up the knowledge of forever time, and even click on the first 10 minutes of that episode 1, and you'll be like, wow.
Yeah, we'll do that because you sent me some good stuff. I sent you some good stuff for you to look at that
I know.
corroborates what I've been saying.
I think it helps us exchange from a whole different perspective.
Exactly.
It's great. I love getting your stuff.
Awesome, my friend. Well, have a safe trip up to Seattle. I will talk to you soon because what's going to happen tomorrow in the next few days, we'll be back on the air again. So you take care and you have a good day.
Thank you. You bet, Rich.
All right. We'll see you, buddy.
Bye-bye.